Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about picks again, but today we're going to be talking about how you hold them. It's one of the first things that beginner guitarists are going to want to learn, because if you don't know how to hold it, you don't have the ability to learn how to play guitar. When I was a beginner, I didn't have internet at the time. I didn't have anybody around me that could explain anything to me, that had any experience on guitar. So when I first started playing, I held my pick in a way that made it really, really difficult to play. And I feel like a lot of different guitarists kind of deal with that when they first start out, especially if they don't have the internet. Luckily, most people have the internet nowadays, so that problem's not as prevalent. Whenever I started playing, I held my pick just like this. See, I'm holding it with two fingers and a thumb kind of pinched. And whenever I would try to learn stuff like from tabs, I didn't have control over what I was doing, and I would drop my pick often. And it's not really a very economical way of picking, just because it puts a little bit of added stress onto your hand. But that being said, there isn't really a right way and a wrong way to do most things when it comes to guitar. There is a tendency for people to do things the same because it's usually easier to do certain ways, but there's always exceptions to the rules. Take, for example, Eddie Van Halen. He holds his pick in a way that most guitarists are just like, what are you doing? What is he doing? Why is he holding his pick like that? But he does it to great effect. He's one of the better guitarists that's ever existed, if not one of the greatest. Some people consider him the greatest, but that's all subjective. Just like holding your pick, that's subjective. Some people swear that you have to hold it a certain way. When I first discovered the internet and I started looking up videos on how to hold my pick, I seen video after video of this is the way, this is the way, this is the way, right? And it was always really, really, this is the way to do it. This is the only way to do it. Don't do it any other way. This is best. I feel like that's not really the approach that you should take to teaching somebody. I feel like you should present an idea to them, or maybe a couple ideas, and let them decide. It's kind of like picks. Try several different ways. Maybe one way is going to suit you, and maybe it won't. Anywho, instead of rambling, I'm going to go ahead and show you how most guitarists hold their pick. Most. So, you start off with your hand, just like this, and you're going to curl, if you can see this, you're going to take your finger and you're going to curl it almost like a triangle, right? You're just going to kind of do an angle, and you want to bring this finger kind of tight, but you don't want to squeeze. You just want a real natural, curve to that finger. Then you take your pick, and you see where this point is, right here, on that finger knuckle thing right there. You want to put your pick to where your point of your pick is facing almost exactly in the direction that that point is right there. And you want your pick to be pretty far up there, though. You don't want it like this, right? You want to bring it all the way back, because you only need this much pick, very small amount, if you can see that. It barely shows on the other side of the thumb, and there's a reason why people do that too. It's a thing called pinch harmonics. So you want your thumb to pretty much cover up that whole back side of the pick, but you want this side right here to be, around about right there. Now, you don't want to squeeze real hard, but you don't want to, just have it kind of flop there. It's just a very steady grip like that. Now, as far as the rest of your fingers, whenever I first started studying like how to actually play guitar and stuff, I found lessons where they would tell you to keep all your fingers closed up like that. Basically have your hand like this as you play it. And it can work like that, but certain things seem to be a little bit more difficult, and sometimes it feels like it can create a little bit more tension because your fingers being like that can cause a little bit of tension. Several different guitarists play differently, so if you watch like somebody like John Petrucci, he'll actually take his fingers and he'll like basically hook them down here as he plays. It's almost like he's anchoring in a certain position as he plays, and he uses those fingers kind of as a guide mark. You know, like he can tell where he's at on his across the strings by where his fingers are. Other players, which this is actually who I emulate whenever I play guitar, Dimebag Darrell. Basically, I had been doing it this way for a long time, and I was having problems with these knuckles dragging across and a bunch of different issues. And I was watching one of my guitar heroes. I was like, oh man, Dimebag Darrell, sitting there watching, and I'm looking at his hand, and I'm like, huh, he's got his hand like really, really relaxed and open. He basically just kind of lets them fall down like that. So I tried it. And to me, that was the best way I'd found. It makes it to where you can strum and stuff like that because you're not, super tight. If you have them like this, you can still strum. It's just, it feels really, really tight. I like the fact that this, if I want to pick really, really quickly, it's right there. But if I also want to play relaxed, it's right there because my hand is loose, right? So anyhow, just a little short video showing you the basics of holding your pick. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and share it if you like. I've got to get over 1,000 subscribers within a month because they're going to demonetize anybody that doesn't have a certain amount of subscribers. So I'd like to keep that from happening. So if you could give me a subscription, that'd be awesome.